an inspiration. I would say कि अगर एक term है life is a roller coaster, तो उनकी जिंदगी is the roller coaster. Yeah. Started off as a model, Bollywood actress. I mean, जब उनकी मूवी रिलीज हुई थी, एक पिक्चर आई थी 1997 में शायद, उसका नाम था परदेस. No one was talking about the music by Nadeem Shravan. No one was talking about Apurva Agnihotri. No one was talking about Shah Rukh Khan. They were only talking about this diva who the entire country and the world saw for the first time. Her name, and I'd like to invite her on stage. Put your hands together for Mahima Chaudhary.
What lovely things to say. On the on-start, I just want to say that I'm a big booby cry. Since I was a child, if anybody I saw was crying in front of me, first I would cry and then ask, kya hua? So, don't get fooled. I can be strong and I can be a real fuss at the same time. Yeah.
So, to start off with, how gorgeous is she looking? Zordar taliyan ho jaye. I mean, look at Mahima. Again, I don't know what it is, the magic, but...
No. Today is a day of revelation. I just want to tell you that on the face of it, everything looks very nice, even on social media, even right now.
Of course. and congratulations. I want to get the good things out first because there's a lot of excitement on the two films. There's Signature with Anupam Kher,
right,
and there's a film with Kangana Ranaut, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But now, tell us about things that most people don't know. And I mean, I could say it, but it's your story. And it's
You said I looked gorgeous and all that. Let me tell you, I've put tons of makeup. This is a wig. I'm still waiting for my hair to grow. And so that's what I was saying is I didn't share this story when I was hit with this diagnosis. I didn't share it with my parents. We live in the same house because my mother was ailing, and just before lockdown, see, I've started crying again. Just before lockdown, she went into the ICU, and there was no chance of her coming back. But she did. She was put on the ventilator, and then COVID broke, so the doctor said, take her home and create an ICU in the home because she might get COVID and that will just reduce her chances of whatever time she has. She survived 3 years post that. And I just lost her 2 months back. And she said, Sab kuch to ho gaya tha, I was ready to go. I had seen my grandchildren, bas baatein reh gayi thi. So it's a very important lesson that we don't spend that much time talking to each other, whether it's your spouse or your children. And I got these 3 years in the lockdown just to be with her because we couldn't go anywhere. And if you look at it in a positive note, this was the best thing that could happen because she was going to go anyway, but we got that valuable time where we just didn't move and we were with her. And my father started having, because he was thinking now it's time for her to go every single day, and he started having irregular heartbeat. And one night he said, take me to the hospital, I feel uncomfortable. And I took him. He was in the hospital for 6 days during COVID. And 1 month later, I did a test on myself, the regular test, and I got the diagnosis of cancer. So all of you deal with challenges, and I'm sure you've dealt with greater challenges. But at that time, I felt like there was so much happening in my life, and to be a caretaker and then to be stricken by something like this, one needed to have a sense of humor, one needed to have a lot of support. So build that support, have that support system, have that 1 or 2 friends, have those good neighbors, talk to everyone. The greatest research in Harvard has said that, the 70-year-old research that the success and good health and long life is the result of not how much you don't smoke or how much you exercise, it's your relationships. Your successful relationships will decide what kind of a healthy life you're going to have. And a lot of you, even me, it's about parivartan, right? Today's talk, a lot of us, we begin our day, the minute we wake up, we begin with work. We start thinking, usko phone karna hai, oh, I have to get ready, I have to, and then in the shower, while we're having breakfast, while we're talking to the kids, it's all work, 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 work. Why? We need to stop that. There's 24 hours in a day. 8 hours you sleep, 8 hours you work, 8 hours you have for yourself. Did you ever think like that? That you have 8 hours in a day to yourself? A lot of you will say, nahi, main to 2 ghante drive karta hoon, 2 hours up. Let's take that out. You still have 4 hours every day to do what you want. Please don't work more than 8 hours. Franklin will never call me again. But in my defense, a lot of companies have reduced their work from 5 days to 4 days, and productivity has gone up. So you will perform better. But don't start your work before 9 o'clock. Don't start your work before 10 o'clock. Don't look at the phone. And please don't message each other after the work day is over. Let's respect all that. Europe is ahead of us. They've made a law that after 4 o'clock, because that is the end of the day there, they can't message each other. We are constantly, and we are so insecure, we pick up phones. I do that. I don't want to miss out on work. 9 o'clock, I'm picking up the phone. But it's only now that I'm making that parivartan in my life. I'm sure you do that.
Of course.
Don't do that. Slowly, you'll all begin to realize that, yes, it's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. It's the end of the day. This is not important. I'll message tomorrow morning.
But tell me, you were not always like this, right? There was a phase when you started your career and things were just going fabulously well. And, I mentioned about this roller coaster that has happened. Tab bhi, there are things that you've kept personal always, and I don't know how many people know, but can you tell us, Pardes happened, you had a string of super offers that were coming your way, and then what happened? And how did you deal with it? Because that's what I want to know. कि तुमने हर बार कुछ हुआ है, वो you've kept it to yourself. Like you said that you didn't even mention about your cancer to your dad. Why was it so private? Why did you think that you didn't want to share? And anyway, tell us about what happened after Pardes.
Yeah, after Pardes, everyone thought, wow, so lucky. She gets a Subhash Ghai film with Shah Rukh Khan. And even I began to think like that. And then my second film comes, which is Daag with Sanjay Dutt, Chandrachud, gets a great opening. And I'm shooting with Kajal and Ajay Devgan in Bangalore. And I'm like, wow. And suddenly, one morning, when I'm going to the shoot, a milk truck comes and bangs into my car. And the glass just goes like bullets into my face and just hurts just my face. And it was, I thought I wasn't hurt. So when I went to the hospital, there was blood in my mouth. So I said, please do my head surgery, MRI. I need to know if I got a internal bleeding. And the doctor says, no, did you vomit? And I was like, no, do this. But later when Ajay and everyone came and they said, no, your reports are all fine. So I said, okay, let's go and shoot. So they had cleaned me up, but I couldn't feel the pain. So when they went outside to discuss, I saw myself in the mirror. And you know what it feels like when you're shaving and you get a couple of nicks? I had millions of that on my face, and this eyelid had sort of cut off and it was hanging like this. How I had not felt it. And it was like a movie scene. And it's after I saw that the whole world started spinning and I came and lay down and I just told Ajay, I said, Ajay, I'm so sorry, I can never complete this film. And he said, you will. I've got these cuts when I do stunts and, a plastic surgeon has stitched me and I'm fine. I said, you're a guy, And at that time, industry was not so strong on actors. We were very strong on looking good and just a pretty face to sing and dance. And so when I was healing, I was not thinking कि मैं actor नहीं होंगी तो कुछ नहीं होंगी. I was thinking, what can I be? Can I be a chef where people can't see me? What else can I do in the backdrop? I think I'll be a writer. I don't have the skills. I used to constantly keep thinking of that. And and try to believe when the doctor said things will be fine, and I was not allowed to go out in the sun for a year because the marks would remain. So I came back with, and everyone thought she's arrogant, and they stopped coming to me with movies because I walked out of so many projects, and I didn't want to share because at that time the media was not so supportive, and quite frankly, even people were not. And they just wrote like she's scar-faced, and people would have written me off in the industry. So I came back with small roles, like one small role in Dhadkan and one small song in, Salman Khan's film, and then Bagban with Mr. Bachchan. So those films became successful, but I started again with small parts, and then again began to work with big directors like Priyadarshan.
A big round of applause, please. This is, we don't know this. I didn't know this. I only got to know when I was speaking to Mahima. But Mahima, the key is about Parivartan. You are a fighter. At that peak, Dil Kya Kare, the film happened, you still decided you'll come back. You were down with cancer, you decided to come back. Tell us about that mental strength. What is it that goes in your head? Because yahan pe bhi, I'm sure we all go through these phases.
The minute
what
the doctor tells you that you have cancer, it's like you're crying, and I thought life is over. And it's the people around you that say no, and then you start researching, and then there's Google. Everything's on Google. So what is the percentage of it coming back and all of that? And then you see other survivors around you, like Sonali, and then I saw Sanjay Dutt. He was fighting lung cancer stage 4, and he had shot a film and it had become a hit, and he was about, and I was like, does he really even have cancer? And mine was much more milder. And I was like, if he can do it, I can do it. And it's very hard. During your chemo, I used to go for events and your legs shake. And I used to be on stage and there'd be people obviously much more who had achieved more than me, and I couldn't get up. So I would just sit down and do namaste like this. So I went through that, but I said I'll continue like most people do. And that's when I met Mr. Kher at the airport, and he said, we'll do a film and I'll call you. I thought he wouldn't, but he did. And then I told him, I said, I want to wait for my hair to grow. I'm going through treatment. And then he says, why can't you do without, your hair? I've done 500 films, Ganja. You can do one. I said, nay, I'm very vain. Even now when I go for my chemo, I wear a wig. I don't want the nurses to see me also like that. But you'll get to see my pictures. My Masi was very supportive. She went to Tirupati and she shaved off her head and she says, "Chalo, hum do ganje ek saath ghar mein ghumenge."
But how do you toggle between glamour? There's a glamour world which expects you to be perfect all the time, and then there is social media now, where again and then there is the real world. But you also took up on social media. That's when all of us got to know about what you were going through, because you put that photograph. Can we have some of the photographs on screen?
I didn't put it up. Anupam Kher did. So I'm just an example of what a pretty picture people put up on Instagram. So don't get influenced by that. Ki iski life kitni perfect.
Look at this. Can you tell us about this?
Shaving my head. I told him it's lockdown, my hair's falling, Papa shave it off, and he's like, I have a new buzzer I got from Amazon. Let me get it, because he buzzes his hair all the time.
So he didn't know?
He didn't know.
And so how did you handle it? All by yourself? Who was your confidant? Who was the person you were sharing your struggles, your challenges with?
I think my Masi, my sister, and my daughter, who I sent to my sister's house, because when you're taking chemo, you look like death. You become white, and there's no hair, there's no eyebrows, there's no lashes. You look quite scary. I didn't want my child to. But she came back, and she says, Mama, I'll live with you. And only one day she broke down while she was in class. I could hear the teacher saying, "You've not uploaded the homework." And she says, "Yes, sir, I have." "Where is it?" "No, by mistake it got deleted." "Okay, go back to history, take a picture and send it to me." And she was arguing and arguing and arguing, and the professor was like, no, Ariana, you've been somewhere else, you're not in class. And then my sister went and said, let me tell you how mother is going through this and this. And that's when my daughter really broke down for the first time. And they said, oh, we had no idea. Please share with us and we'll do the best we can. And after that, she was very strong after she broke down that one time. And she was I used to tell her, I said, if this comes back and mama goes, this is the amount of money we have, this is what we have. She says, mama, we have so much money, whatever little I have. And before that, I used to tell her, mama has no money, mama has no money. So anytime we went to, buy stationery or something, she would pick up 5-6 pens, maybe an eraser. And by the end, she would just pick one. And I would say, why aren't you taking that? No, I don't want. I said, take it. And she said, no. So one day I just told the guy, pay for this, we'll pay for this. And she started crying and she said, no, mama, our money will finish. And she used to think I had no money, not even a few hundred rupees. That's how she grew up. So then we started making it light that, and I made her understand that we all have to go and it's fine and you just have to be independent. And there was a big change in her after that.
And what advice would you like to give the audience in terms of to overcome their challenges? Any meditation techniques, anything that you do? Because it's really a...
they've said that your cells behave different when you meditate. If there is an infection coming, a virus, a parasite, they build sort of a defense if it's very calm. That's why I'm saying, when you wake up in the morning, wake up to your home, wake up to whoever's there. The first 3 minutes of your waking up when you hug your children, your mother, your spouse, that is the most important time. And take your time, stretch, and do basic exercises. I've been exercising on my bed. You can do that. Just breathe. Exercise on your bed. Do those radio exercises that the Japanese do. The longest living people don't go to gyms. They don't have six packs. They just do basic, haath upar, niche, wo jo hum PT mein karte hain. Those exercises. Do a little bit of breathing. You have 8 hours to yourself. Do 8 minutes of breathing. And just relax. Think of the lovely things you have. Gratitude changes your cells. Hugging. And don't be on your phone. And even when you come home, don't come home walking with the phone inside. Greet people. Like how our pets do. That's the best way. Run to your children. Those kinds of things. And before going to bed, do that again. Be present. And also, in your homes, how many of you have packet food? Everyone, right? Biscuit, bhujia, noodles, pasta. Stop that. That is called giving up on life.
I just want to say, sorry, Mahima, that, giving up, that's what you just said, giving up on life. And I think that's what I've learned from you completely. So please complete that because it is about not giving up.
When you do little things like that, like stack your home with trash, you're giving up on life. I've seen so many mothers and fathers in the malls and they'll tell their children, utha lo yahan se kuch bhi one goodie. That's how we've been psyched by advertising that cakes is a goodie and chips is a goodie. Why? Take them to the fruit counter and say, pick up the fruit you like. Try something new. I'm sure they will come home and eat it. Let's try some new vegetables. Which one do you want to pick up? Okay, you want to pick up that? We'll cook that. So go home and make this one parivartan. Keep the 8 hours to yourself. Stretch in the morning and breathe. Don't start your day while you're sleeping and getting up. And throw out anything that's in a packet. Don't bring it. And don't say, I'm taking you for a treat and take them for a pizza. A lot of times you'll go to somebody's home and say, no, I won't eat this. Do you have dal chawal? And they'll say, oh, you're on a diet. So this is what we are made to believe. Ki normal ghar ka khana, healthy khana is being on a diet. Only when you eat everything like what we have outside on a special day, then fine. But if I go out and I say, can you just bring me some normal vegetable and dal, they'll say, acha, aap diet pe hain. No. Yeah, it's about eating healthy. Make that parivartan. Just 2 parivartans. 8 hours to yourself and throw out all packet food. And you'll do very, very well.
You know, I just want to say about Mahima that giving up is conceding. That's what she said, that things will never get better. We've seen from her life that that's not true. Ups and downs are a constant in life, and she's been belted into that roller coaster 1,000 times, but you've emerged a winner. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Mahima Chaudhary for you.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.